Sessions and Assizes Act. 1908. I think this is the same. Is this the same year as the Public Meeting Act came out as well? To make breaking up public meetings illegal and intervening in them. It's ironic, actually. I will say that making it unlawful to break up public meetings or transact information. This Quarter Sessions and Assizes Act is quite ironic. You know, to transact business at the meeting. So what this act does is, this is when they're starting to get rid of the juries or make it not necessary to have one. At this point, you can still have one if you want, but they're starting to ditch them and get rid of them, particularly at the Assizes and Quarter Sessions, because you can have criminal and civil as well, remember. Although I think that they had them at the county court when they ended up having the county court. Where's my little time chart thing? This is 1908. Oh yes, they've already got rid of. They've already got rid of they've already got rid of juries in the magistrates' court, and I think they've swapped over to magistrates' courts from hundreds, but they've still got the Assizes and Quarter Sessions continuing, and at this point the Assizes has not become the Crown Court. So the Crown Court doesn't exist as we know it. The Crown Prosecution Service doesn't exist as we know it. They've got Quarter Sessions and Assizes, but they've got the magistrates' courts at this point. They don't have hundreds anymore. They call magistrates' courts, and they've got rid of the jury out of the magistrates for like all the summary offences. So we're not judging our own petty crimes really by jury. So that's what's going on at this point. Now, so this is ironic. This is like, work this out with a bit of intelligence. If you're thinking of someone working out a master plan, some overseers in the government or behind the government who are making gradual changes of society for, well, supposedly for our greater good, but do they have ulterior motives in store for us? So, it's in store for us, depends what they're selling. So, here, down the side, notice dispensing with attendance of jurors at Assizes or Quarter Sessions where there is no business for them to transact. Well, if you owned a factory or if you owned a corporation like Warburton's or, I don't know, Amazon or something, Marks and Spencer's, whatever it is, if you were a mill owner, a factory owner, taskmaster, merchant ship, God knows what, you name it, right? You wouldn't really want to transact business in a Assizes or Quarter Sessions if you were getting judged by a grand jury, would you? Particularly if the grand jury happened to be your entire workforce. That would be a novel business of transaction for the boss to turn up in the Assizes or Quarter Sessions having broken some, I don't know what laws they had then, probably not dumping toxic chemicals in the river. That would be a novel one, wouldn't it, for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to turn up prosecuting at the Assizes or Quarter Sessions. Well, as a prosecutor, maybe. When, you know, who's left in the village to turn up? You know, oh, look, that's funny. Oh, hello, boss. What are you doing in court today? Oh, I've been dumping toxic chemicals in the river. Oh, those chemicals that you told us to dump in there. Oh, I'm sorry. We know the offender, Your Honour. You'll have to get another jury. There's no business to transact today. What a waste of time. I've summoned this random jury up out of this town. We were picked 12 people out of this town at random, and it turns out they all work in Wonka's chocolate factory. I'm sorry, we cannot judge this case. We know the offender, Your Honour. It's Wonka. Look, it's my Oompa Loompas. Look, it's my Oompa Loompas! Look, it's Oompa Loompa number 69, number 2, number 12. Number 62 and number 53. Fucking hell! Is there my lottery numbers? What are the chances of that? Fuck me! Look at that! What are the chances of my Oompa Loompas being here in court in the grand jury? I ain't only got a factory of 1,000 of them. Fucking hell! It doesn't matter which ones you choose. They're all here. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You were like, oh, yeah, damn, the quarter sessions only come around 4 times a year. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll have to change the jury. Well, Mr. Wonka, you'll have to come back in another 3 months. Hopefully we'll be... Well, there's no point me coming back. With odds like that, I can't lose. All you can choose any, you can pick any of them you want, but I fucking know a lot of them. Oh man, it's Wonka. He's been dumping toxic chemicals in. Are there any witnesses here? Yes. The jury, we dumped them in with him, Your Honour. Yes, sir, we're the ones who dumped the chemicals in under his direction. This town's not big enough for the both of us. No wonder they got rid of the grand jury. Bloody hell, no business to transact. There should be plenty of business to transact with the amount of chocolate they're knocking out of the damn place. So yeah, they got rid of the. I think they got rid of the grand juries from these courts. So it was only the justices. Sir Robert Peel, you're making all the decisions on making the agreements with the proprietors and so forth. Otherwise, when people are getting split up with their wives, maybe some of the grand jury might think it's rather preposterous, arguing over, who's going to get the 60 million or whatever. Maybe they thought they were not common anymore. It's not common law, or even civil law. They must. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work on the capitalism model to have juries in civil cases at that rate, unless it's only. Small claims courts for small claims courts for Oompa Loompas for small claims. So I think this is pretty much the demise of being judged by your peers once we start to amass these large, it's no longer, the cobbler, the butcher, the farmer or whatever. You got these big, although, you'd have thought if they were above the law, they'd never end up in court. But still, who would the civil claims be against? I mean, if everyone's on peanuts and they've got no money and they're poor, they're likely to be coming into court for civil claims if they ain't got any money. They're more likely to come in for theft because they haven't got any money. That's why they had to steal. Oh, look at that court of conscience in Bristol. Apparently, there are loads of civil claims going on. I think that's to do with the middle class, though. Who can even afford to go to court and make civil claims over small amounts of money? I mean, it's probably easier to steal than it is to make civil claims. So I think this is when they were really wanting to get rid of this Magna Carta judgment by the peers. They'd already scrapped it in the magistrates' courts. I think that really killed it in the mid 1800s because, you know, who gets justice in a magistrates' court these days? I mean, if anyone's ever been to one, it's like hell. Literally is. It's never seen justice or fair trials or proceedings. It's a cesspit den of pure evil. So it's a miracle we've still got the jury. I think they have to have. I think we've only got the jury in the Crown Court out of bare necessity. I mean, like it's literally they probably, you know, that Magna Carta. I think they despise it. I think the government you know, it's like in America about Kennedy Jr. is like, you know, what happened to America? You know, what happened to, you know, American dream or free speech and all the Constitution values? Now Biden's trying to ditch them all, isn't he? You know. So this act pretty much makes it so they can just, if there's not many people on the schedule for the quarter sessions or assizes, then basically the clerk can give notice to the justices or whatever, and you can say, you know, there's not really point in anyone coming or turning up or whatever, or they can move people to other quarter sessions in other areas nearby, other quarter sessions that are being held in other areas. They can make people go, you know, over to other counties maybe or other towns where they're having quarter sessions. So that would have made you think that there wasn't much business there. But I think what they actually did is, this is just off memory now from reading the other day. Apparently, they shifted a lot of the business to the magistrates' courts. So the thing is, what they did is, I think they took the juries out of the magistrates' court, out of the hundreds, and they made them into magistrates' courts. So what will have been happening then is they sent a lot of the people to those courts instead, right? So the quarter sessions and assizes will have been less busy. And that means that if there's no jury in the magistrates' court, it might be, you know, it'll have been pedalled to the metal, won't it? Hammered to the table, like bang, 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 bang. That's what I think happened. It'll just be, you know, get everyone on, you know, petty offences through the magistrates' court, you know, like bang, 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 you're all fucked. So I think that was the start of the demise of justice, really. I mean, what happened to 1688 with all these, you know, courts of conscience and everything? You never seen a conscience in a magistrate's court. It's like it didn't exist. So I think that's what happened. And then another thing that I've noticed is here, look, you know, they've still got the Tumultuous Petitioning Act at this point. And this really stands out. So this is part 1. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 3 A and B, 4, and then 5 here. So this this number 5 here, if you read this is quite interesting, because you remember at the assizes and quarter sessions, you've still got civil as well. Although I think the civil, they put it into the county court, the assizes, but it was still quarter. Oh no, they still had quarter session and assizes. They still had civil requests, but they were done. I don't know. The assizes and quarter session judges used to come round. I wonder where they used to sit then. It was in a county court. Maybe they sat what in the courts where the magistrates were, what they've been moved to, but for criminal offences, and then the county court for the other offences. But anyway, so let's read this here. It says, the wording of this is really, really important, actually, this number 7. Sorry, not 7, 5, sorry, even. Number 5. Any persons having, by law, a right to present a bill. Wow. Any person having by law a right to present a bill, but of indictment, to a grand jury. Well, that is amazing, isn't it? Because that's exactly what you do. Any person having, by law, a right to present a bill. Well, you present a petition as a bill if you want to get some laws made or changed, and you would present it to Quarter Sessions or Assizes to get consent if you had more than 20 people. But if they were dispensing with the jury, you wouldn't. But this is not for a petition, but the wording of it is suggestive and invocative of the process of laying the bill to get it consented to, which you'd want to by a grand jury. But if hardly anyone was putting petitions through anymore, they probably might not request a grand jury, or they could request one, or they might get to the justices. If the justices give you permission, you wouldn't need a grand jury. But then again, what if there's hardly anyone to turn up for justices? But if magistrates' courts were only dealing with criminal, really, and all civil matters were in here, seems like they don't really want people to have a grand jury to look at people's petitions. But anyway, any persons having, by law, a right to present a bill, but of indictment, to a grand jury in a case where no person has been committed for trial, and proposing to do so at any assizes or quarter sessions, shall give notice of his intention to do so to the proper officer more than 5 days before the commission day or day appointed for holding the court of quarter sessions, as the case may be. So, that, to me, you see what happens if your petition is, a complaint or grievance that, you want action against the government or action against someone who has done something wrong, or an inquiry into something who's done something wrong. Because wouldn't a petition with some sort of, grievance or wrongdoing, which you could do, we could have, or what happens if you want the opposite, someone to be released out Parliament to, put a bill through to overturn something. So that's really interesting, because what it tells us is the wording on it is very, 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 very invocative and suggestive of going in there to put like a petition in front of a grand jury, because, well, that's what they did. Because in the Tumultuous Act, you had to get consent of a grand jury or 3 justices if you wanted to petition with more than 20 people. But it's ironic that, you they're getting rid of all the people, aren't they? Unless it's a prosecutor, but who would even present bills of indictment, other than the police or a prosecutor, unless people were doing it, privately. So that, private bill of indictment. But they're getting rid of that. They're getting rid of it. So they're not going to be grand juries, quarter sessions, if you're wanting to take petitions in, or unless someone, that means that, for example, if if you want to do a big petition with more than 20 people and get consent, and you don't trust the justices to give you consent, then you probably want a grand jury. But that means that, I don't know how many people did petitions in 1908. Maybe not a lot. I don't know how many people were doing them. This is what I'm trying to find out, evidence of these sessions. That means that if there was no other cases that were needed or wanted a grand jury, then they'd have to get one in specially just for you to get your petition consented. So they have to get an entire grand jury in just to get your petition consented. But the thing is, why was business going low there? Because they were clearly starting to, filter them all off into the magistrates' courts. But the thing is, I read something that, I read some of the Hansards, and it was saying that, the crime levels are going up, we're getting more criminals. And there was more and more crime. So I don't know why they would start getting rid of the grand juries. If crime levels are going up because of urbanisation, it was through this rapid urbanisation when crime was going up. Like Birmingham, they had Cadbury's village, Cadbury's Bourneville. It was a countryside village place, and then gradually, you get more and more building, and then Birmingham and the canals and that lot all around Birmingham are starting to, fill urbanise, fill in, and the crime's going up and up and up and up and up, and that's why they had to reform a lot of acts of law. So what they're actually doing is manufacturing, as well as the manufacturing products, as they're inventing all these biscuits and bourbons and humbugs and God knows what, badges and all these things, industry, the crime level's going through the roof, and why is that? Well, and then they're banging up everyone into all these, terrace houses, but someone's making a lot of profit and money out of it, but the profit doesn't seem to be going into everyone else. Well, I think Cadbury's vision was meant to be decent. He built everyone hospitals, and it was meant to build people decent things. Well, that must have been going on for a while, but then it started packing it in, and then overpopulation. So, I think that could be some irony in the that Wonka film, actually, to be honest. Some irony in that film when it starts out as a beautiful countryside village, and then it ends up rock solid with urbanisation and crime through the roof. Maybe his vision wasn't that decent and well balanced. I don't know. But anyway, so there's definitely, I think that, and there's something in this act about, holding secret or special meetings. I don't know whether they were messing around with the times of holding the quarter sessions, or maybe they would maybe they would put people off, or maybe if people wanted to present a petition and get consented to, and then say, oh no, it's, you have to go to another town and try and put people off, I need to find some evidence of these sessions with these petitions through the tumultuous acts. There's got to be some evidence of them. But you didn't actually have to go. Why would you even want more than 20 signatures? But the thing is, to put something through Parliament, you need a lot of signatures, really, to get a law made or changed. This is the thing. When it says a bill of indictment, indictments usually, or a conviction in criminal, is based on evidence, right? So if you want to prove something with facts and evidence, you don't need signatures of people. You need like physical evidence, proof, and writing, or even photographs. Not, you don't need more than 20 people. And that's how you would prove it, kind of like with a criminal indictment. So you wouldn't even be there because you could do it straight to Parliament or the committee. So you won't go to these quarter sessions if you were going to submit a strong case with evidence to Parliament or government, the equivalent of an indictment, or to prove something serious. You wouldn't be there in that court because you wouldn't need the grand jury to consent or want them to consent to collect more than 20 signatures. So you wouldn't be there. You would only be there if it was to get a law made or changed, because you can only really get laws made or changed if there's a lot of evidence of public support in signatures. So that's people. You want more people. So that's why you need to get consent from a larger part of a grand jury or whatever. But I think this act is some good evidence that. They're giving an acknowledgement to that procedure. Now, the thing is, it actually refers to It refers to the Quarter Sessions Act 1894. I can't find the Quarter Sessions Act 1894. It was like a tough enough job finding this one. I had to get this from Parliament because this is not online. There's another one that's a bit later than that I have got. So now, the last thing that I want to say, or remember to say about this particular act, is that because it's around the time of the Public Meetings Act, right? In this, it's talking about having a... Where is it now? There's something about holding a special meeting. A court of quarter sessions for a county or the justices of the county assembled at special meeting, which special meeting they are hereby authorised to hold. Or the justices of the county assembled at special meeting, which meeting they are hereby authorised to hold, may, at any time when it appears desirable for any purposes, to fix or alter the time for holding the next court of quarter sessions, so that the sessions are held not earlier than 14 days before, nor later than 14 days after the week in which they would otherwise be held. So they're allowed to have their own special meetings, their own secret special meetings about things, these justices. Well, what happens if you wanted a special meeting with some justices to get consent for a petition? Maybe special people were getting special meetings and special consent, like, Warburtons and factory holders or factory owners or God knows what, It seems it's very, very, very interesting that this is, I think, around the same time, more or less exactly, as that Public Meetings Act, when you can't break up a public meeting. But it seems like they can manipulate the laws and rules around holding these quarter sessions and having... Really, isn't trying to get consent from a grand jury about a very serious matter that you want to take to Parliament and get consent for a large number of people to go ahead? Isn't that a public meeting, or a very important official one, really? Isn't that the equivalent of a public meeting, right, to get, a grand jury of, law-abiding citizens to have a look at this very serious matter that you're wanting to take to Parliament and get consent to go ahead. Wouldn't that be a public meeting worth having? And here, they're trying to scrap them. Oh, no business to transact here. No business to transact here. Oh, well, I wanted to try and get Parliament to ban these bread factories everywhere that are popping up. Oh, no business here to transact. Well, everyone's turning orange into Oompa Loompas. Well, no. But they're filling us up with ice creams and, Warburton's breads and chocolates, and it's unhealthy. We're all going to go diabetic, we're going to actually make it illegal. I'll tell you what, we're going to make it illegal to own a factory or mill, How about a new law where all companies' house will not license a factory to one person only. All companies and businesses have to be registered to, the workers. No one may purchase a mill by themselves. A mill must be purchased by a franchise group of at least 30 persons or more. How about that one? Oh, that's something worth putting through the grand jury. I think I might do that. Let's have a public meeting about it. Oh, no business to transact here. We're moving the quarter sessions down to Barnstable. You'll have to go there for it. Oh, what's a shame. I can't bother travelling down there. Oh, what a shame. When did you rearrange that? Oh, in our secret meeting. Oh, that secret meeting of ours that you broke up and prevented us transacting the petition details to the public. Still going to shut down everyone's factories, No, not that. No people power here anymore. In fact, that's why people probably couldn't turn up in the grand jury. They're far too busy making biscuits, to turn up at grand juries, Just a minute. the entire... Mr. Warburton, just a minute. There's a quarter sessions on this week, but they're all making biscuits in my factory on Wednesday. Excuse me, can we have Wednesday off, Mr. Warburton? There's a quarter sessions coming round. It's only 4 times a year. No. I can't risk that. Our production will be down for a day. I can't have you all going to the grand jury. This is it. This is a gradual, the public losing their powers. It's amazing that we actually had powers, it's amazing they even had judgment by the peers, I'm quite surprised we've still got a jury in the Crown Court, actually. It's a miracle we can still vote. Not the fact that it's a con by, the major political parties. It's a miracle that they even let you pretend that you can vote for whatever shambles it is.